Your home. What words come to mind when you think of your home? Maybe the words blessing, sweet, family, comfortable, love. These are all words that we associate when we think of home. We especially want to invite blessings into our home, to our families. And we can only do it through one special way that I hope to share with you, along with 9 other life truths. So, blessings into your home are incredibly, incredibly powerful because one blessing actually gives way to another blessing. So, when we have blessings, do we think of them as financial wealth? Do we think of it as the means that we have? How many things we have? Is that a blessing? Walking down the street, you may think, oh, look at this huge house. They're so lucky. Having a big house entails so much maintenance, so much use, meaning you have to put it to good use, and of course affording it, which is a whole other, job in itself. Not everything that looks like a blessing is a blessing. Let's keep our example of a big house. It may not be a blessing. Why? First of all, we have to make sure that we bought the house with kosher money, right? With money that we earned through hard work, and it wasn't money that was, done otherwise. So we want to make sure it's kosher money we earned through hard work. Second of all, we need to make sure that our home is a blessing because everything that we have in our home we're using for a good purpose, for what it's meant to be. So some people have a huge house. Maybe they're hosting a lot. Maybe they have many bedrooms that they can, or at least one bedroom that they can, they have people lounge or stay for Shabbat. They're doing a chesed, they're doing a mitzvah. Maybe they have parents who are living with them. Maybe they have a business in their house or a daycare. So if you're putting it to good use, then great. But just because you can afford it doesn't mean you should have it. And we're going to talk about that a little bit further as well. A person can misuse their blessings, and we have to make sure that everything that you have can be turned into a blessing by asking Hashem for clarity. You have this many children. Having children is very easy, right? But raising them is so difficult. So if you have the blessing of children, we have that responsibility to raise them the right way. Children are a blessing, but raising them is truly what our job entails. Any blessing that you have, we have to put it to good use for what it's meant to be. So we have to remember, as number one, not everything that looks like a blessing is a blessing. We hope it is, and we have to strive to have that in our lives. Okay. The world exists from the prism, from the ability of someone to do the impossible. Our sages teaches us this amazing idea. So number two is the world exists from the ability of someone to do the impossible. What is the impossible? It is so much easier to learn Torah, the Talmud, everything that the Torah entails, than change yourself, than to change our character. It is so much easier to learn, not necessarily we're applying, but if we're changing ourselves, it takes tremendous effort, tremendous hard work, and of course, help from Hashem, that He can enable us to help, to change. So this ability is from someone who stays quiet when they are spoken to disrespectfully or pulled down and insulted. When we stay quiet, when we don't respond, whether what they're saying to us is true or not, but we are quiet. And of course, we don't We're not promoting for us to be doormats to anyone. But at the moment, when the person is having this moment with us and we are quiet, when a person is quiet and doesn't respond, it's really easier said than done. But our sages teaches us that if we are doing that, then we merit to bring blessing into the world to the point that the world exists because of us. So this one person can merit that blessing. The world exists because of our spirituality, because of what we're doing, our mitzvot. Hashem needs us to partner with Him to do mitzvot, to make sure that the world exists. And the world exists in the merit of people who don't respond when they're insulted. Now, people can say things that are insulting and critical because this is how they are responding, choosing to respond. They are not skilled to speak that way. Maybe at this moment, maybe they're overwhelmed, maybe they're angry. But our job is to not respond at that moment. You can always revisit it later in a calm way. And this is our mission. This is our goal, not to respond back in an angry way. Remember, two fires only build a bigger fire. You can do it. You can do the impossible thing. What seems so impossible, you can do. As long as you try, as long as you want it, and you ask Hashem to help. Okay, number 3. Only when I make Hashem's will my will, then in turn Hashem will also complete my list of wills, right? We want to do Hashem's will. You can pray that may Hashem's will be naturally my will. And it can be. It is possible. Because when you're trying to do something once, it's a registration in the head. It happened. It's data there. It happened before. You can't erase it, right? When you're on your phone, yeah, you can't really erase anything. You could delete it, but it's really there. You can track it. So nothing really is erased. So when we're doing something, when we have a habit, and even if we changed only one time from this negative habit, that habit is registered, that experience is registered, and you can access it more easily because you already tried it. It's like a footprint. You put a footprint on the sand at the beach or on mud, if you need that, if you need the mud for something, but then it's easier for you to step over. Or of course, snow, it's more relatable. It's more easier for you to step on those footsteps if you try it just the first time, even though it's so hard, right? So that can be an idea that could help us. So just to sum it up, only when I make Hashem's will my will, when I don't respond to someone who is insulting, and instead I keep quiet, then I can give Hashem my list of wills so He can make my will come true. Remember, Hashem responds to us the way we respond to Him and His children. So anybody who you interact with, any Jewish person, that is His children. And of course, those people who are outside the Jewish world, they are also supposed to be treated with respect. It's the way we interact with everybody, really. But Hashem will respond to us the way we respond to other people. Okay, number 4. Just because I can afford it does not mean I should have it. All of us have different amount of money in our bank account. And even if you share your account with your husband, really, it's one umbrella, right? You're under the same umbrella. Just because you can afford it doesn't mean you should have it. It doesn't mean you should get the latest and the greatest. A watch is a watch is a watch. It tells the same time as $1,000 watch. It doesn't need to be expensive. The car will get you from place A to place B. It's the same car. There's nothing else to strive for. We really need to focus on living more simpler. And the reason for that is, just quoting the words and summing it up of Rabbi Lior Dahan, is that it's going to keep us from being more spiritual, from our spiritual progress, from being more spiritually inclined. Because when we focus on materialistic means, there's no way that I can be close to Hashem in the same way that I can be when I'm living simple. Now, if I really need it, then fine, right? Don't live an extravagant life for the purpose of just because you can afford it. If you need it, then that's a different story. But for your own benefit, for your own spiritual benefit, the right thing to do, our sages teach us, is to live simple. And more importantly, we are the holders of somebody else's money. So a person who can afford so much more, let's say they're donating to shul, to the synagogue, a person who's donating $10,000 versus a person who's donating $100, they actually do not have any difference in them as long as person A and person B gave as much as they could. So Hashem gave this one, the person A, who can donate so much more money because he's meant to help more people. That's his responsibility. So it's not a competition. They will actually both receive the reward for giving tzedakah, for giving over money. This one will not get any more reward because person A gave as much as he could and person B gave as much as he could as well, according to his means. So just because I can afford it doesn't mean I should have it. Doesn't mean I should buy another home just to have it, right? It doesn't mean I should get the latest and the greatest phone just because it's faster and just because it has so much more apps, and get another shade of those of the same kind of shoes just because they're name brands, and having everything is up there. It really isn't good for our neshama, for our soul. We need to ask ourselves, do we really need to invest in this deal? Buy another property, buy another pair of shoes, and also buy another outfit. The reason for that is, as we said, it's not good for us. You know, living simple, living with what you need. It doesn't mean live under a garbage can. It doesn't mean live dirty. It means only have what you need. It's not good for your neshama to have clutter, to have extravagance. Now, if a person is used to living an extravagant lifestyle and has parents like that and lives in a home like that, if you live in a community like that, great. However, just keep in mind, not even for the sake of the children, we don't need to do and have more than really is necessary. Not especially not to make other people jealous. There's no way that people can say, normal people don't say, oh wow, I'm glad she has that. What do we say? We want that too. So we don't want to, of course, make other people jealous, but we want to live simple. And simple people are more spiritually inclined. But if you have more, you can also be spiritually inclined. If Hashem gave you so much more, a big home, a wealth, a lot of children, whatever it is, a lot of materialistic means, then it's your job to give it away, to other people, to live and be happy with what you have, but also to give it away, because that person is responsible to help more people. Hashem made them the messenger to help people. So we have to understand that just because I have it, I have to question myself, do I really need it even if I afford it? So that's really important for us to remember. Okay. An example is Rabbanit Yemima Mizrahi gave an example of her own outfit. She was marrying off one of her children, and she found out that, the other in-laws, the future mother-in-law of her child, is not going to wear such an extravagant long gown as she wanted to. So she decided to shorten her gown as well and make it less extravagant. Rebbe Yemima Mizrahi is very modest, elegant, put together woman, and of course she wants to look that way at her child's wedding, but she didn't want to make anybody feel as though she is above them and make them feel jealous. So this is a lesson we can learn from her. Okay, number 5, power corrupts a person without Torah. We have many people in power, especially in the political world. A new principal, a new boss. Even in our own world, we are parents. We have power over our children. And it's very important for us that we still live in the prism of the Torah. Even though I am in power as a parent, as an employer, I have to still be respectful to my employees, to my own children. Because if I feel that I'm in power because I'm entitled, I'm going to misuse this power. I'm going to have children who, God forbid, hate me and not want to be around me. I'm going to have employees who wish they had another job and just don't do anything extra, don't really go above and beyond their job. You may have a boss like that. And just ask yourself, how do you feel when you're monitored like that? I had an experience recently of my student. I was dismissing my students, and my student was embarrassed by one of his parents right in front of the whole school because the parent said, "You don't do homework, but you tell me you don't have homework." And I said, "Yes, he has homework every day." And the child was so embarrassed, unfortunately, and the parent handled it in such a wrong way, just misusing the power of parenthood in a simple way. We still have to be careful not to embarrass our children, even in the simple power of being a parent. It's also a power. So it will corrupt a person, a leader, without the prism of the Torah, without the prism of ethics and morality of the Torah and the guidance of the Torah. So we have to exercise our power through the prism of the Torah to navigate our role successfully and use it successfully to help other people. Number 6, Hashem creates different realities for different people. For example, this is why people get hurt emotionally and other people don't. To someone, when you greet them with a smile and say, "It's so good to see you," you have no idea what that person is going through. Maybe that person really just felt depressed and just really wanted to matter, and you made them matter. So some people just react differently. One of my Rebbitzins, she gives classes, and the ladies came to the class, and she was like, "Oh, it's so good to see you," to one of them, and she made her feel so special. Later on, this listener came to her and said, I'm so grateful to you that you made me feel so special. I really felt so low, and you made me feel so good." Yet later on, a few minutes later, maybe 20 minutes later, another person came in, and she said to another person, "I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for coming." That person later on came to her and said, "I don't really like when you say that, because I feel embarrassed that now people know when I come and how late I come, and I'm a little bit embarrassed." So the same situation, your intention is to be nice, right? Wasn't meant to hurt anyone, but people respond to even kindness sometimes differently. So we need to understand that people have different realities, and to be open to apologize, to be open to say, "I'm sorry, I didn't know." And now you learn something new about this person, and your apology will actually strengthen your connection with this person. Number 7, a man-made sadness is money. A man-made sadness is money. A person naturally worships money, and this creates sadness. We think money buys happiness. The more you have it, the happier you are, the less problems you have. That's not true. Money doesn't talk. Sometimes we hear that money talks. If I know you, I'm going to be your friend because of your money, because of your bank account. That's not real friend, first of all. And second of all, money is a man-created sadness. We create this depression in ourselves, this worry, this anxiety, thinking that our problems will all go away when we have more money. And that's a sadness that we create. Hashem gives each and every one of us exactly what we need to serve Him. And only when we serve Him with happiness, He wants to give you more. Okay. Number 8, no man has ever died with half of his desires fulfilled. In other words, we all want more, and we always want more constantly. That is human nature. Human nature is to want. And this is the good character trait, because you want to use it for the best. You want to use it to be more, not to want more. So it's okay to always want, but we have to know how to direct our desires and only use it to serve Hashem and to be more, and not to want more materialistically, but to be more, be a better person today than I was yesterday. Okay. Number 9, use your natural need for desires to be more and not to get more in life. So we're tying that into the number 8, no man ever dies with half of his desires fulfilled. So we want to use that natural need to be more and make that our natural desire, right? Make yourself want to be hungry and thirsty to do more for other people, to help other people, to do chesed, to do kindness. Number 10, if you have more, if I have more, then I'm supposed to use it even more constructively. If I have more, I'm to use it even more constructively. Meaning, if a person has more money, if a person has more time, if a person has certain talent, a big house, maybe that house can be turned into a shul, an activity center, a place where people can use for a hall, right? That becomes a mitzvah. Instead of having the people rent a hall somewhere else, they can use your hall. And whether you feel like it's necessary for you to use that money for yourself or not, or give it away. I know many people who are extremely wealthy, and the money that they make, they give it over to tzedakah, they give it over to charities, because they don't need that money. They need that money to help other people and to raise that kind of awareness. So if I have more, no matter what I have, if I have talents, I need to share it with the world. I need to help other people. Hashem gave you that ability. He entrusted you with this talent to help other people. And if you don't use it, someone else will get that talent. So it's not a competition. However, don't you want to merit brachot, blessings, to come from your vessel to help the world? So use what you have wisely, no matter what it is, in order to serve Hashem and help his children. Number 11 is a bonus. Hashem will do the spiritual will of everyone who fears him. We want to be awed by Hashem. Like, he's so amazing. And the more we learn about the world and the ways of Hashem, we are so awed. How does this world exist in such a beautiful balance? Because of his creation. And when I do his spiritual will, when I fear him, he's going to do my spiritual will. When I'm careful with the way I do mitzvot, knowing that he's watching me, he's listening to me, and in this way, he's going to fulfill my spiritual desires, because I want to be more patient, more calmer. Whatever your list is, Hashem will help you experience that Yeshua, that spiritual experience. Okay, so to wrap it up, how do we invite more blessings into our homes? We invite more blessings into our homes by using everything we have for its purpose. Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming, awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.